So these guys, they took me to another room, and there they took off my blindfold. I was in a small room with two men, Ali and Hamid. Very small room. There were two chairs, a desk, and a bare wooden bed. He asked me again, where's Sharzad? I said, I swear to God, I don't know. And if I knew, I would have told. I have no reason not to. Then they handcuffed me. I was 90 pounds. So they saw my hands are going to slide out of the cuffs. They put both of my wrists together, they put the two wrists in one cuff, and as it clicked, I literally heard my right wrist crack. The torture had not even begun. If the devil appeared at that moment and said to me, hey Marina, sell me your soul, I'm going to get you home to your mom, I would have sold my soul with whipped cream on top. I would have done anything to get out of there, but that was not an option. They tied me to the bare wooden bed. I was lying down on my stomach. They took off my socks and my shoes, and they lashed the soles of my feet with a length of cable. Favorite method of torture in the Middle East. Why? Because it works. By the way, torture, which is used in more than 84 countries, is not designed to get information. It is designed to break the human soul. If they told me to confess I was Jesus Christ under torture, I would have. They gave me documents to sign. Do you think when you're in so much pain you're going to read 200 pages? I put my name under everything they gave me. My brain was in a mode I couldn't recognize. With every strike of the lash, my nervous system would explode, and then it's magically put back together, and you're wide awake for the next. And the next one is going to hurt more than the first. I call that distilled pain. It is a place of suffering. It is a darkness in which you don't have a name, you don't have family, you don't mean anything. There is only suffering and pain, and there is no end in sight. So in that space, your mind plays tricks on you. You say things, like I can't even remember what I said, but you say whatever comes to your mind to get you out of there. I don't know what I said. I have no memory of it. I just remember the pain. That's all I remember. They eventually stopped. They untied me, and I sat up. I looked at my feet, and they looked like party balloons with toes on them. I'm blue. I couldn't understand how the human body could swell that much. I started laughing because it was funny. Then they made me walk. They make you walk, then they beat you again. They make you walk, then they beat you again. Why stagger? Because if they don't stagger, your skin would break and you will die from bleeding and infection. They are not trying to kill you. If they want to kill you, there are more economical ways. They would put you in front of fire and smother, they would hang you. Much more economical. Torture is hard work. Again, as I said, torture is to kill the human soul. And that is why it's worth all the work they put into. I was given a death sentence. Right now I'm working on the case of a man condemned to death in Evin. He's a Canadian-Iranian, been in Evin for 5 years on death row, off death row, on death row, off death row. We don't even know exactly what's happening. Wrong place, wrong time, basically. A courtroom in Evin is a Sharia judge sitting behind a desk passing verdicts every 3 minutes. There is no lawyer, there is no jury, there is no process. That is a courtroom in Evin prison. It's run by Sharia law. Basically no law, probably is better than that. I was sent to the cell block with hundreds of other girls. In the cell block where during the time of the trial there were 5 prisoners in each cell. During my time there were 50, 60 or 70. L-shaped hallway, 6 cells on either side, 1 bathroom. Woke up in the middle of the night, last cell, the furthest from the bathroom basically. 2 a.m. I want to go to the bathroom. I sat in my spot on the floor where I was sleeping. I sat up, looked around me, and realized I can't go to the bathroom. There were so many people sleeping on the floor around me like sardines. There was no space between them to put your foot down on the floor. You couldn't find the floor. So I thought, okay, forget it. I'm not going to welcome my friends. So I sat there and waited. At dawn, there's the call for prayer, and everybody has to get up. Everybody's forced to get up to say their prayers. Everybody runs to the bathroom. I was like number 300 in the bathroom line. We are standing in line to go to the bathroom. In the meantime, there are names being announced over the loudspeaker. So and so and so and so, come to the office. The girls who are being called, they are being taken for interrogation, torture, or execution. If your name is called, go without a fuss, because if you don't, you will get tortured for sure. So the ones who are called, they go. The rest of us, we are standing. What are we doing? 90% of us are under the age of 20. This is high school in hell. We do what young girls do best. We talk. About what? Not about Marxism, that didn't end well. About everything that makes you human. I had never thought about what made me human. I discovered my humanity in a bathroom line in every prison. In a place between life and death, a place of absolute darkness, in a place where all hope has been drained, you're left with one thing and one thing only. And that is the memory of the people you love and the fact that there are people out there who do love you, even though it seems that the world doesn't give a damn. It doesn't, but nevertheless, you need to create something that resembles hope. And the only way you can do that is to tap into the past, because the present is horrific, the future doesn't exist. And that's what we do. I carry the memories of every single girl who ever stood in a bathroom line with me. The girl I was before Evin prison died in there. I don't know when and I don't know how, but she did. The person I have become is a carrier of memories. But carrying these memories is not enough. It's the first step, it's the most important step probably, because you don't do that, you're not going to get anywhere. But there is more. It is not only about knowing and not forgetting. In this case, the situation is ongoing. This is about a battle. This is about a ruthless, bloody, ugly, relentless battle. And if you don't get involved in it, you might as well put a gun to your friends' heads and shoot them again. It's as ugly as that. There is one option for me, and that is to fight. There is no other way, because I am responsible. Now, bad news for you, because I have just informed you of what is going on right now. Knowledge brings responsibility. So sorry, but you're it. Because I cannot carry this by myself. I have 200 things on my agenda right now, and I feel guilty every day for not being able to attend to everything and everybody. I'm right now actually fighting for the release of an Iranian woman who is at the end of her rope. I'm actually worried for that she might commit suicide in a detention center in Toronto. Her refugee claim has been denied. She's a convert, a Muslim convert to Christianity. If they deport her, she was scheduled to be deported on March 29th, but now it has been postponed. But I spoke with a lawyer and she said there is no guarantee. If she's deported back to Iran, she'll go straight to Evin. And I'm trying to prove. She called me last night, this girl. I couldn't answer the phone at the moment. And you know, I have the message. She's screaming and crying on the other end. I said, Marina, please save me, please save me. And here I am. So this is not something I can do by myself. This is something that I need your help, they need your help. We all have a part in this. If we don't stand for people who are suffering, whether in Iran or North Korea or anywhere, the blood will be on our hands. I wish there was a way to sugarcoat this, there isn't. There was another form of torture in Evin. Sometimes girls were called in the middle of the night, returned to the cell block at 5 a.m. with no visible torture sign. If you knew the girl, you would go to her and say, hey, where were you last night? And she would give you some lame excuse, so like, you know, oh, they took me for interrogation and nothing happened. They're right. I was called for interrogation 6 months after my arrest, about 6 months, 5 probably. It was daytime, my interrogator Ali was there, he looked at me, he took off the blindfold, looked at me straight in the eye, I said, listen carefully. You had the death sentence, I reduced it to life in prison. You're going to be here forever and nobody cares. You are going to become my wife or I will arrest your parents. I said, fine, I will marry you. And he said, you have to convert to Islam. I said, fine. Anything else? He even changed my name. One day I looked around me, I had lost my freedom, my family, my religion, my dignity, everything. I was being raped over and over at the age of 17 in solitary confinement under the name of marriage when a gun was pointed at my head. And there was nothing I could do about it. It was sanctioned by Iranian law. This man took me on short leaves of absence to visit his family, and I expected his mom to be the evil stepmother from Cinderella. But this little woman opened the door, a Muslim woman wearing the whole hijab, took me in her kitchen, and all of the food in her fridge landed on the table in front of me, and she said, "I beg you eat." She gave me tea, and she fussed over me as if she were my mother, much nicer than my mother. She was human. And I wondered, how can a woman like that have a torturer's son? And she kept on talking. And she told me that my torturer husband had been a political prisoner in Evin prison for 3 years, and he had been tortured much more than I had been. He had been a victim just like me. So when I made it back to solitary confinement, which was where I spent most of my time those days, you know, every day in solitary is 3,000 years. So I'm sitting there, I'm thinking, how does this happen? Up to that point, I was good, he was evil, it was clear. You know, this clean-cut line between us. But suddenly, he was the victim, I was the victim, he was the torturer. Uh-oh. I realized that one day, the tables turned. They always do. The tables turned. And somebody went to him, gave a length of cable to him, and said, well, go get your justice. It's really revenge, but I mean, who's to tell? Depends on how you measure it, right? And I realized somebody will one day, and I still have faith, mark my words, somebody will one day, if I live long enough, will one day come to me and say, hey, do you want to be the Minister of Justice in the new Iran? You know, the Minister of Revenge, really, what, you know, come on, what difference does it make? And they will give me a length of cable. And then I will be able to go around and collect all of these torturers and put them in Evin prison and beat the living daylight out of them and give them to firing squads. I thought about it. I didn't like it. Since the dawn of time, the victim has become the torturer and the torturer the victim. Victimhood is not a perpetual state. Because I was a victim yesterday doesn't make me a victim today, and it doesn't mean I'm going to be a victim tomorrow. I have the potential to become a torturer. Oh yeah, I do. But they can take away everything from you. There is one thing they cannot take away, and that is the answer that you give to that length of cable. That's your call. No matter how bad it is, no matter how angry you are, no matter who's in danger, no matter how much hatred you have in you, the answer that you give to the length of cable is your identity.